into your heart, into your life. So as the son said, it was I said. There's no one who can come before you. I want you to sing the last verse of verse 119.
I invite the congregations to stand as we are going to begin this Thanksgiving ceremony. God spoke a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth will pass away, and there was no more sea. God belongs to the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for a husband. And I heard a voice of the heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men. He will live with them. They shall be his people. God himself shall be with them and be their God. God shall wipe away tears from their eyes. There shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
once it's honor gathering for those persons who want to join in the worship experience, so you can come in and find the seat on the gathering. On behalf of the pastor, the board of elders, the church board, we want to extend, and the church family here in Sydenham wants to extend our deepest condolences to the family of Sister Peharie. And we hope that through the service that we will share in, and by also lifting God and join your attention to Him who is able to keep you here this time, that truly our hearts will be blessed and truly the family will be comforted. For the most part, the program this afternoon will run unannounced. There is one change of program that I will announce at the appropriate time. But for now, I'm going to invite the following persons to come and share in the program. And you use the logo there right there where the mic is provided. The first lesson will be done by a tree ground meets, followed by a selection by chorus, a tribute by the school from the Sydenham SDA Church, and then it is the second lesson by Smith, a friend. So we take these four items as a sign. Invite the tree ground to come for the first lesson.
The first lesson is taken from 1 Thessalonians 4, verses 14 to 18. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so, them also which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangels, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so we shall ever be with the Lord. Wherefore, comfort one another with these words.
I walked by the tomb of Buddha. I looked inside and saw his bones. So I traveled on to see Mohammed. He was still wrapped up in his grave clothes. But then I journeyed to him lay, but the precious Lamb, God's own begotten, he was no longer in that grave. And if you knew him like I know him, you would know that he's alive. And if you felt him like I feel him, resurrection deep inside, you know he's living and death has died. So if you're standing in the darkness, come and step into the light. His nail-pierced hand reach out to help you, to pull you safe from death to life. Friends, I too, I've stood where you stand. How could I trust, oh, in things unseen? But just one step in his direction, then in love he ran to me. And if you knew him like I know him, you would know that, Lord, he's alive. And if you felt him like I feel him, resurrection deep inside, you know he's living and death has died. You ask me how I know he lives. He lives within my heart. If you felt him like I feel him, resurrection deep inside, you know he's living and death has died. Death has died.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the pastor, Pastor Montagues, and Loans, the Board of Elders, the church board at Sydenham SDA Adventist Church, it is my privilege to stand here today. Oh, and I forgot one other thing. On behalf of our permanent family member, Pastor Barnaby, It is my privilege to stand here today to bring a tribute to my friend, my sister, Melo-Jean Peharie. Melo-Jean came into the church in 1997. She was baptized by Pastor DeCosta at the time. The same pastor that baptized her husband, Gregory, and would later unite the both in marriage. There is a writing from Ellen G. White that says, every souls that enter into the church enter as an evangelist, as a worker for Christ. And so soon after she entered the church, she was put to work. She became a part of the Wills and Trust Department. And later on, she would run the department by herself. And after her illness, she became a part of the disability committee at the church. But the real love that Melo had for church work was really in evangelism, something that she never rested from. When she worked in the education department and she taught over in the small building next door, she taught English, and I think at one time she taught social study. She brought Christ into the classroom. And many of her students ended up back at her home. And many of them found their way to church through the influence of Melo. She was a sister not because it is our habit at church to call one another brother and sister, but if you knew Melo, like or I know Melo, you will find that she is a sister indeed. Ever truthful, ever honest, ever, what is the word I'm looking for? Genuine. Ever genuine. If she did not like the color of your eyes, she's going to tell you. Not behind you. She's going to tell you to your face. And after you and her have it out, then you are good again. And I love that about her. Further on evangelism, even though the church appointed her to be to the Wills and Trust Department and the Disability Committee, Melo work was most extensive in the health ministry. And I wonder if you know that. Melo-Jean was often, especially for the last period of her life, missing from church. That was because in her wheelchair, she was traversing from one part of the island to another, teaching persons how God has blessed this church with a health message. Something that she was intimate with because that is what kept her alive for so long. And she did it tirelessly. Now, it would be amazing the amount of work that she did if it wasn't for the fact that she was doing it in a wheelchair. But I must tell you and tell you a little secret, that every time Melo went out on a missionary journey with her husband, Dr. Morgan and Gary Brooks, to a different church, she traveled in pain, severe pain. But that did not stop Melo because she loved the work of the Lord. And I say we can all take a leaf from our book. When Jesus said that if any man come after me, let him deny himself first, take up his cross and follow me, I saw that lived out in Melo-Jean Peharie. For though she was in pain most of the time, she gave of herself. When she came out here, she worked hard to teach. As one person was saying last night, sometimes she's dragging herself out of her bed to come, to give. And up to the last moment of her life, she did that. She gave. She gave back to her community. She gave to the church. Melo indeed was a blessing, and is still a blessing to all of us, because in my mind, I tell you the truth, she has not died. For the Bible says, that the God that we serve is a God of the living and not the dead. And one day, it is my hope and prayer that I see my sister again.
Good morning, everyone. I am going to be reading the Revolution 22. And he said unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter through the gates into the city.
One thing I would say as I see my friend Ella Schooler tearing up, I say to the family and say to friends, tears are a language God indeed understands. I just want to remind us that for persons who are joining us, you can join us on the balcony. There are seats provided up there. So those of you who need a seat is on the balcony. Thank you. We are going to enter into a set of tributes at this time, and you can see that the Sydenham Special Needs group is in position. They will be followed by Anneke Fisher, then Randy Duncan, Del Gracia, then Vidal Brown, who is a sister. The change, we'll have Michelle Rowe, and then we will also have Garnet Nelson. Once again, in this order, Anneke Fisher, Randy Duncan, Del Gracia, Vidal Brown, Michelle Rowe, and Garnet Nelson. Please come in that order. Thank you.
the death of his saints. It is in this light that I deem it a pleasurable task to express condolences to the Peharie's family from the executive arm of the Special Needs Ministry of the St. Catherine Lay Workers Federation. Many of whom would have loved to be here today, but unavoidable absent. We want to thank Brother Peharie and his family for taking his wife on the many trips when we go to other churches to minister to special needs people and to advocate for persons with special needs. She was always a blessing, tremendous blessings to the programs we carry. And everywhere we go, people always call to ask back for her. Indeed, like the Apostle Paul, we can say, she has fought a good fight. She has kept the faith, and henceforth there is laid up for her a crown of life. To us here at Sydenham, Melo-Jean, she was a motivator indeed, because in spite of her challenges, that didn't stop her from going ahead academically and otherwise. And so she motivated persons with or without special needs.
Energetic. Even though confined to a wheelchair, you would marvel the vast energy that Sister Peharie has.
She was long-suffering and loyal. Amidst it all, she remained loyal to her family, to friends, church members, and most importantly, to God.
O is for overcome. Sister Melo-Jean was an overcomer. Through many, many hurdles she had been.
J, she was jesty. She was jovial. She was joyful. She was joyful knowing she was a child of a king.
E, enthusiastic, excellent. Sister Melo-Jean has really been one that really even attended Portmore Church as we had our Special Needs Day, and I had to make it today to say this lady's duty. I mean, the way she did her, whatever she did it with such enthusiasm. You know that this lady has been with Jesus. And today, as we celebrate her life, we pray to God that our family members will be encouraged to keep going on, because one day we'll see her again.
She was absolutely amazing. Despite of her challenges, she keeps encouraging me to hold on to the hands of the unchanging God that we serve.
And she was nurturing. She was a no-nonsense person for all who come in contact with her. And as we go out, some Sabbaths after Sabbaths, going out to minister to persons with special needs, I can tell you that Sister Peharie, she engaged many persons. She had them attentive. They were listening, they were asking her questions on how she did it, what they can do also to have that faith that she had. And we wanted to show you a video actually of Sister Peharie giving her testimony to a group in, at Crescent, but you will just listen to her now as she will, you will hear how she did it.
I was walking
And let me tell you, brethren, even though Sister Peharie had her disability, she was able to do every and anything whenever she went out. And let me say, Javon, who I remembered Sister Peharie, we were doing we were at school and we were doing professional training, and I had asked Sister Peharie to come in for us, just to give us teachers, to talk to us about wills and trust. And let me tell you, even though she was in her wheelchair, she didn't say no. And sometimes we need to take something from that, as we are going around walking. She never says no, no matter what. And you would see Brother Peharie driving her and Javon taking out of the wheelchair, and she would deliver to every and anybody. Questions, she can tell you anything once you ask her. So let me tell you, even though she had a disability, she never give up. So like us here today, let us never give up. If we can follow in Sister Peharie's footsteps, going around and nurturing persons, let us do so, because we know that in the end, Sister Peharie, because she was faithful, we will see her again in the earth made new.
Good afternoon, church. Tribute from Sisters Dorothy, Coral, Romelda, Diane, and Olive. We are blessed to call you a sister and a friend. Over the years, we have shared so much laughter and tears. 6 sisters and 1 younger brother. We were called the Duncan's Posse. We got into trouble together, and Melo, being the youngest of the 6, would be the first to deny any wrongdoing to spare herself from her father's famous lashes. We recall being home one Friday while our parents went out to work and left us to complete our chores, but being the playful children we were, we would turn that mundane task quickly and developed it into fun and laughter. As our motto was, all work and no play made the sisters dull girls. We eventually decided we would cartwheel King Popalik on the bed. None of us wanted to wait our turn. However, we told Melo that we could not all cartwheel at once. But Melo, being strong-headed, decided to do it anyway. In the middle of cartwheeling, we saw Melo underneath ourselves, Olive and Diane. Without anything to break or roll, we rolled right over her and broke her arm. Melo would bellow from the excruciating pain of a broken arm. When our parents returned home, even before taking Melo to the doctor, we received a proper flogging. From that day on, we never cartwheeled again. for fear of another whooping. Melo was more than a linguist and English teacher. She was a wife and a mother to her children and many others. She had a generous heart and assisted as many persons as her pocket would allow. Her passion as an educator was evident as she was able to reach students which other teachers were unable to reach. She helped many students achieve literacy and eventually realized their true potential. Melo also assisted her nieces and nephews to maneuver tertiary roadblocks and even conquered their most feared subjects. We are deeply saddened by the loss of our loved sister, especially with it happening at a time when we are unable to travel due to the COVID-19 outbreak and most of us having underlying conditions. It is with broken hearts and tearful eyes that we send our love to the family and ask that you blow an extra kiss, give an extra hug, and an extra rose to the children and Gregory, whom she loved endlessly. Our sister fought this illness for 20 years. Oh, we wish she could have stayed with us longer, but the Lord needed a special linguist and teacher, and he chose her. If our sister was here today, these would be her words. Don't grieve for me. From pain, I'm free. I'm following the path God has laid, you see. I took his hand when I heard his call. I turned my back and left it all. I could not stay another day to laugh, to love, to work or play. Task left undone must stay that way. I found the peace on a sunny day. If my parting has left a void, then fill it with remembered joy. A family shared, a laugh, a kiss. Oh yes, these things I too will miss. But be not burdened with times of sorrow. I wish you the sunshine of tomorrow. My life's been full. I've severed much. Good family, good time, a loved one's touch. Perhaps my time seemed too brief. Don't lengthen it, no, with undue grief. Lift up your heart and peace to thee. God wanted me now. From pain, I'm free. Ride on, dear sister. We love and miss you.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're here today because of Auntie Peach's passing, and I have two questions for everyone here today. Question one: what are 3 words you would use to describe someone that is always there for you? Question 2: do you know what it feels like to have a mother and an aunt in one person? Well, if you don't know, let me tell you, it's the best thing since sliced bread. And anybody that knows me knows how much food means to me. And in my case, Melo-Jean Peharie, better known to me as Auntie Peaches, was just that. she was a big slice of that bread. She was one of the most caring persons that you will ever meet. And I'm sure everyone here can attest to that. At least once, Auntie Peaches has helped you in some way, shape, or form, whether it be from schoolwork to just being a better person. You know, I always refer to her as not only my best aunt, but also my second mom, simply because she has always been there for me in good times and bad. She's always there. Like, our relationship started when I was a baby. She used to tell me that after I was born, she used to help my mother and my father to take care of me. And throughout primary school, I always wanted to go to Auntie Peaches to spend the summer. And I wasn't the only one. You had my brother and a lot of other young men, until people started asking her if she was running a boys' home or something, and how she full of boy picnic. But not all of them were hers. And I can tell you that she took care of every one of us like we were her own, because that's the caring person that Auntie Peaches was. She taught us to cook, to clean, to wash, and to take care of ourselves overall. You just cannot pass through Auntie Peaches' house and don't know how to cook. Somewhere along the line, you will learn, and that's guaranteed. Fast forward to now, when I'm all grown up, she used to baby me still, in a sense that I usually smile and shake my head, because I knew from her words and her actions how genuine she was. At the time, I was on the night shift, so I normally stay at her house, and I usually get off at 2 a.m. and reach home at 4. And let me tell you, as soon as I came into the house, she would call me and tell me to come fix her foot. And then say how much, and then say no, she can go to her bed. So I usually looked at her and asked, Auntie Peaches, why not go and sleep already? It's 4 o'clock. And she usually looked at me and say, I can't fall asleep unless you come home. And that, everyone, is why I called her my second mother, because of how genuine she was when she said that to me. She was an aunt like no other. I recently lost my mother in December. And I remember the morning I was back in the back room crying my eyes out. And out of nowhere, I see Auntie Peaches pushing her wheelchair, come right in front of me and said, Randy, stop crying. Your mommy gone, but I'm still here for you. And instantly I felt comforted. So to answer my second question, the three words that I would describe my aunt is caring, genuine, and a great mom, not only to her children, but all her boys. We'll always love you, and you'll always be in our hearts. You'll be remembered as one of the most genuine persons to be around, and you'll be missed dearly. Goodbye, Auntie Peaches.
Good afternoon, everybody. Many times in my childhood, as I traveled along, by nightfall, how weary I roamed. My father's arms wrapped around me, and gentle he said, my child, we are going home. Going home, we are going home. There is nothing to hold me here, for I have got a glimpse of that heavenly land. Oh, praise God, church, we are going home. Now the twilight is fading, and the day star soon appear. I've got homesick, the Father I want. But my Father, He had led me, oh, each step of the way. And now we are going home. Going home, yes, we are going home. There is nothing to hold me here, for I have got a glimpse of that heavenly land. Oh, praise God, yes, we are going home. Oh, going home, we are going home. Let me tell you, there is nothing to hold me here. Oh, for I have got a glimpse, yes, of that heavenly land. That's why I sing, praise God. Oh, praise God. Yes, praise God. We are going home.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you guys for coming. So, I don't have anything written. I'm just going to speak from my heart. This was my sister, my friend, my family, just so much more. Peaches was probably one of the most humble, smartest, just kind, just a big heart. And you know, anyone who really know her know that she is just genuine. You don't find that anymore. People are so wishy-washy. And that is what I'll miss the most about her. I could call her anytime. Peaches, can you write me a letter? Peaches, can you read me something? Peaches, can you go buy a house? She knows how to get it done. And even after 20 years in a wheelchair, you know, I never really hear her complain. But you know what? She didn't complain, but she was kind of miserable too. And that part I do get, because sometimes sickness wear on you. But she take it in so much stride. I was just talking to my brother about this, Gregory, this morning, to say, you know, he had a lot to deal with, a whole lot. And my hats go off to him. And I want to thank him also for being there for Peaches every step of the way. Because there was a lot of times when I tell Peaches, throw him out. I will take care of you. And because of the person that she was, she's always ready to forgive. She's always ready to love. She's always ready to give. And I want to use this as a learning lesson to all the young people here who use the word, I can't. In Peach's book, that word never existed. It was always, what can I do? Always. When people tell me that they cannot, and I see what Peaches did in that wheelchair, not only did she grow her children, she did. She was there for them every step of the way. When I get a call, I was playing back messages this morning. Tracy and I was playing messages this morning. And believe you me, all the calls that Peaches made was either counsel the kids them, what you're doing, why don't you come over, happy birthday, happy Mother's Day, Merry Christmas. She always remember. She always make the phone call. She was always there. And she worked very, very hard to take care of her children and just to be there. But most of all, she was just so much of an instrumental person in this family. She kept all of us together. When she was in the room, you knew she was in the room. She was honest. If you got too fat, if you got too black, if you didn't wear the right clothes, it just comes right out of her mouth. One time I remember she walked, my husband has not seen her, I don't know, maybe 4 years. And John walked in and she said, John, you're getting fat, man. You got a belly there. What are you gonna do? You just gotta laugh. But that was Peaches. But I think most of all, what Peaches has taught us was resilience. Resilience. And today, as we honor her, just remember what a resilient person she was. She went to university after getting paralyzed. She got her degree in education. She taught. It was her passion. She would do anything for the children. When she was blind and couldn't see, she would ask you to read for her so she could tell you how to solve the problem. That was Peaches. She went above and beyond. Guys, I don't see anyone in here in a wheelchair today. So all of us can do something. All of us can make our dreams come true. All of us as a place in this world, every single one of us are individual. And I don't know why God put her in the wheelchair. I don't know why he did what he did, but he sure as hell will give her a good life. He had sustained her. He gave her a family that loved her. We cherish her. We just love that woman. She was not a sister-in-law to me. She was my sister. I would do anything for that lady because she had so much humility and grace and love in her heart for others that she would do anything for anyone. So today I want to tell you, challenge yourself and remember whatever it is that your goal is in this life, you can accomplish it. Because if Peaches can sit in a wheelchair and do all the things she do and touch all the lives that she has touched, believe you me, guys, we all have a place to do good in this world. Let's go out and do it in her honor, because that's exactly what she would do. There was no obstacles. Thank you all.
Good afternoon, everyone. The moderator mentioned a change in the program. Well, I am that change. And I want to thank Tracy for inviting me to be a part of this. I'm going to crave your patience, because as you can see, I also have no script. And I will be talking from my heart. I may not be as eloquent as some of the others. I met Melo-Jean in 2001 when I was asked to be her physiotherapist. Here she was suffering from an illness that had caused her to become paralyzed. When I saw her, basically she could hardly move. She was in pain. It was a rough road, but she was, as everybody has said, resilient. She was a fighter. We worked really hard, got to the point where she actually started moving, was able to sit up by herself, and then she could stand up, and then she started to walk